just for fun, recently I decided to try and design an agency.
Okay.
And it was literally just like a thing that popped into my head of an evening one day. And I thought, you know what, I wonder if we could actually, it was like vaguely work related, as in it's something we could do potentially. Like we advise people, we coach people on content strategy, all that kind of stuff. So I was like, I wonder what it would actually look like if we created a content agency. But I had no real idea that we'd really go ahead with it. So I opened up Claude and asked it like how it would recommend going about this thing.
Yeah.
And what it did was it started up with a skills inventory, which I thought, okay, that sounds good. So let's figure out what skills we have in the team. And I start typing in. So I've got, like what skills do I have? Like try and list out all of the things that I've done over my career over the last little while, over the last couple of decades, all that kind of stuff. And it started to sketch out these skills and strengths, and it split it into soft skills, industry knowledge, unique strengths, all that kind of stuff. And it was really interesting, actually, the questions asked and the way it coached me through figuring out where my strengths are and where the uniquenesses are and all that kind of stuff. And this was the kind of most powerful part of it in the early stages, was actually, if I was just to write down the things that I think I could help people with, I could probably come up with 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever things. But actually with the coaching, with the questions, with prompts, actually I came up with a whole bunch of other things based on my experience as well. And I found that really useful. I came out with this strength and skills inventory in the end, which had a whole bunch of things, which actually ties into what we could offer as an agency.
That's
so
cool.
It then we went on and changed tack to thinking about uniqueness. So unique aspects of a content strategy agency. It started asking me prompts about that. And this was all based on its following. So I was giving it a little bit of coaching around the kind of direction I wanted to go. But really, it was kind of following a structure, a business model canvas structure, actually. So this was something I've done years back, and it's a structure around how to build a business, the business model canvas. And it started building it around that, and it was really cool, actually. So what we ended up with was this skill inventory, which then turned into the unique aspects of the content strategy agency. And then there was USPs, there was customer segments that came in as well then at that point. So it started asking about like what customer segments we'd want to target, and that's more uniqueness for the company as well. And it was just really cool how it took me through it and ended up with a value prop for scaling small businesses too. And it was a full business plan in the end. Like this whole thing, the business model canvas comes out as a business plan that you can use to actually launch a business. So that in itself was really cool. The fact that it kind of took me through that, and it almost coached me through designing that structure.
Yeah.
But the actual more interesting thing that's come out of that is that now I've got a project. So I've got a Claude project, which has these resources in it. It's got my strength and skills inventory. It's got unique aspects that we can help with. It's got the unique value proposition, all of that kind of stuff. I've actually started using this project for all sorts of different things because of those resources.
Yeah.
So for example, we don't run a content marketing agency, but we do run group masterminds. So I started designing that, and I was like, suddenly, well, how do I put together a mastermind landing page? Oh, this is going to take me a while. And then I suddenly thought, oh, well, but I've got that agency outline, basically.
All the resources in there.
All of that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, based on this, what if our agency ran group masterminds? And actually that ended up being a brilliant outcome, because it just created this landing page based on those unique things that we offer, the unique experience that I have. And that came out really well. Created a really cool little thing. And I've used it for all sorts of stuff now. So even a coaching proposal came in. So I've been working one-to-one with a couple of coaching clients. And it was really useful for that as well, obviously, because it's the full skills inventory and full experience of me as well. So I've been using this for all sorts of stuff since then, because of the resources. Basically, because it knows me and the business so well now, it can help me create just about anything really usefully. And it just highlighted to me how useful the Claude projects type format is. Where
this
you can
is a
have this
great example of
that you
it
build
as well.
Yeah, it's suddenly it's created this brain that I can just use for just about anything. So it's been brilliant. It's been so useful, and I'd encourage just about anybody to create that, because if you work on your own, particularly, but even if you have a team, like this does actually integrate parts of our team knowledge and experience and skills as well. It's just actually been such a useful resource to be able to create just about anything.
And just to be clear, these documents that are part of the project, you've actually made these with the project, is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So all the documents that are in my project knowledge here are created by Claude, just through a conversation that we've had.
And then you're just using it, iterating, creating new knowledge, adding that, and the more that you actually use it, the better it gets to know you. You're kind of investing that time in it. And yeah, I've got a few of these for different things. This is a great example of one where, it's weird because even with AI, you've got a bit of blank page anxiety when it comes to building out a project like this, just to build up that knowledge. And you don't want to put in useless things as well, so you need to kind of prune it and trim it a little bit. But it's really worth the investment, for, if on like really wide stuff, like just your entire business, or really particular parts of your life, like your personal finances, or your, I've got one that's specifically just for sort of goals and ambitions, where I'm just almost using it as a interactive diary that I can kind of come in and out of and build on different things. And this is really, really cool. And like, I think you kind of touched on that already, but you can use this for anything, it doesn't need to be limited to the original purpose of it. If you've already got all of those, all of that knowledge in there, you can, you could come in here and make something for the podcast. So it doesn't have to be agency related. It's just about building the knowledge.
Yeah, that's it. It's an ideation thing as well, isn't it? I could use this to say, like, what should we talk about on the next episode? Like, what part of my experience can we talk about? What should I be sharing? Even like LinkedIn posts and stuff like that. I've been thinking about how to better ideate LinkedIn posts and how to make things that are more unique to me compared to other people out there. And something like this, like having that database of knowledge. It's almost like it interviews you. Like you could actually treat it that way. I haven't thought of that before, but you could say, like, you're a podcast interviewer, Mr. Claude. Now, please interview me for a podcast. And actually, it'll just go and to ask you loads of questions. It'll build up a profile of you, and then suddenly you've got this profile, which is actually really, really useful and really interesting. Could even use it for content if you wanted to.
Definitely, I mean, I think that's becoming much better as time goes on. But kind of people being open to the idea of, rather than prompting the AI, letting the AI prompt you and letting it kind of get things out of you. It's almost useful for like kind of talking therapy, and actually, where it doesn't necessarily need to be a human, it doesn't need to be like a co-founder. It's just having a partner there that can ask you the right questions, and it's more about what it's prompting you to say. And there's all sorts of applications for that.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Like the idea of a coach is supposed to be that you don't actually tell people any answers. Like a coach compared to a consultant. So the difference is a coach should be leading you to the answers, should be helping you come up with the answers all by yourself, whereas a consultant will actually give you answers. If treating AI like a coach, like AI can be a very good coach. Ask you the right questions and make you think of the right stuff. Just a quick question. How do you think your mindset has changed over time since you first used like ChatGPT when it kind of came out? Like, do you feel, I don't know, I think a lot of people were kind of confused and hesitant and not really sure how to talk to it or what to say. Like, have you started saying please and thank you? I always did. Always did. I've almost gone the other way, actually. I started off treating it like a real person from the very start. And actually these days I'm more likely to write just like a few words because I trust that it'll be able to pick up the context well enough. So I've kind of almost gone the other way, actually. Yeah, but I often have conversations with it. I treat it as a thinking partner. It's like a tool that helps me think. It's like I used to use writing to think anyway. Like I would have a journal that I wrote every single Monday morning, and it would help me think. It would help me figure things out. And if I ever had big decisions to make, I'll sit and write I'll just write it out to myself.
Mm-hmm.
But now something I have a thing which I can write to, but it'll ask me questions back, and it'll ask me for clarifications, and it'll pick me up on things which aren't quite clear enough, and all that kind of stuff. So it's been super useful that way.
Yeah, and then you just can't get that so much from writing, can you? It's can't bounce back at you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's a 10 times version of it, yeah, for sure. All right, so that's how I've been using Claude, certainly. So I hope that's useful to you out there.